Okay, so recently in Chicago, we are seeing convoy after convoy after convoy of protesters following Homeland Security agents and posting their information on the internet. Well, we actually found another convoy livestream in which they were following Chief Bovino.
You're gonna go to jail in 3 years, you piece of shit. All of you!
Now, what's interesting about these convoys is that even the local news has had to report on these convoys, yet I don't think the mainstream media has caught up yet. So if you guys can do me a big favor, make sure to please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, and it also helps others see the videos as well. And again, this is a TikTok live stream. So right off the bat, for people who are aware of these convoys, this is common. I mean, the honking, the whistles in the background, this is what we keep seeing. These convoys following Homeland Security in order to disrupt operations and warn others in the area, Homeland is here.
It for sure is a hard day for them today.
Now, I don't know how many traffic violations are broken in this video, but it seems to be a lot. The question I have, and if you have your questions, leave your comments down below, where are the local police? Because if you are on patrol and you are a police officer working in this area, I think it's almost impossible to not hear this convoy. Their objective is to be as loud as possible with the horns and the whistle, and if you're a police officer and you see all of these vehicles running through stop signs, cutting across parking lots to cut off the rest of the convoy, I mean, I would assume the police would have to stop some of these vehicles, but in the 2 convoys we have followed with all of the traffic violations, that was not the case. That's from our observations and findings. I mean, look right here, this person just cuts them off. Okay, now from here, this convoy is about to roll up on these agents, but I do want to point out, I did see this comment, good day to have a rammer. Rammers are these protesters who use their own vehicles to try and smash into federal agents and run away. Again, another issue we've seen in Chicago, just something I noticed, but get ready for this part.
Here, they might come out and attack us. Look at them bitches.
Traffic, keep on moving.
Are you a cop? You're not. This is not your jurisdiction. Go do your work and shut the fuck up.
Okay, now from here, this is Greg Bovino. You have to understand, in context, he has to be probably the most hated person when it comes to deportation operations in Chicago. Because obviously there's a lot of attention on Mr. Bovino, the Trump administration loves him, but protesters can't stand him. Again, I want you to notice how the attitude changes. There seems to be a more aggressive posture once they see Greg Bovino. I mean, listen to the audio.
You, Greg Bovino, piece of shit! Look! Bovino! You're gonna go to jail in 3 years, you piece of shit! All of you!
Okay, so this is rather interesting from a journalistic standpoint. First things first, when it comes to the culture of protest in Chicago, it's unlike the other cities. Because in Chicago, we're talking about heavy focus on license plates, heavy focus on data gathering, and like you heard, hey, you're going to jail in 3 years. And you know who else made a statement like that? The governor of Illinois. I just want to point out, when we're looking into these different cities, you actually have like these culture of protesters, what they say and how they act. And the reason why that's relevant to what we're talking about is because the Trump administration has been arguing there seems to be a direct correlation when lawmakers say something or imply something such as ICE is evil, we can't stand ICE, we need to data gather. There seems to be a correlation of protesters who get the green light to do what you're seeing, because we don't see stuff like this in Nevada. We don't see stuff like this over in Oklahoma. This seems to be exclusive to areas where lawmakers do not like ICE as well.
You, Greg! You piece of shit! You all... You!
Okay, so from here, the live stream shut off, but I also want to point out, when it comes to these live streams, it looks like there's a lot of money that's being made during these live streams, because what you're seeing on the screen right here, these are donations. Again, this is another classic example of what we see with these protests. A lot of times, protesters or people who hate ICE, they will live stream what they're doing, and they're making money for what you're seeing on the screen. So look, I'm not accusing this person of doing this for money. I'm just pointing out, a lot of times with these videos, people are making some pretty decent money during these live streams. It's just something I want to point out for you guys. And real quick, before we continue, make sure to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep you up to date with stories just like this. And if you see the QR code, make sure to please subscribe to my channel with your cell phone. If you're watching TV, just scan the QR code. It's a lot easier to subscribe. Thank you guys so much. We do a lot of investigations on my channel to find every angle possible so we can see what's going on. Please go follow Kim Katie USA. I use her a lot for these types of videos. I actually reached out to her and said, hey, I have the angle from the other side and you have the angle from your side. So go give her a follow, go tell her we say hello on X. And this is the other angle we actually can cross-reference what it looked like from Greg Bovino's side. Now, I don't know if you guys heard that. That was the guy in the background we just watched from the angle of the live stream. So again, we do a lot of work to try and cross-reference everything here, but I also want to point out this was a legit mission from Homeland Security. They weren't just stopping to take a break. They weren't getting out of the way of the convoy. They were doing their actual mission of deportations. Okay, so here's another example of one of those convoys, and I want to show you guys how congested it really gets when things get a little out of hand. So this agent just banged into the right side of that truck. I mean, watch this again. Right here. And it looks like his magazine fell out of his weapon, which is not a good thing. So again, even in one of these crosswalk areas where you have red lights and green lights, my question is, like, where are the local police? There seems to be no enforcement, as far as it's going to be up to Border Patrol to figure this out. And I'm not even trying to select clips in order to create a narrative. By now on my channel, we have watched so many of these different clips, and yet we have not really seen any police officers get involved here. And trust me, I know the noise is annoying, but I still think it's very crucial we actually hear and see what's going on so we can at least try to fully embed in the situation and figure out, hey, how can we stop this? How can we come together and avoid these clashes? Because this is turning into a big problem in Chicago. Especially within the last few days, we are seeing more and more of these convoys. Now, this is another interesting clip. Here is Greg Bovino and his crew actually at a convenience store or gas station, yet you can still hear in the background he is still being followed and honked at. Again, my opinion is Greg Bovino, he's already super high profile. I really do think it's becoming like almost a challenge or a way for protesters to show others, hey, I found Greg Bovino, because it's becoming constant how much Greg Bovino is being followed. And in a lot of these clips, I'm seeing Greg Bovino off to the side or as the main character in these videos, especially on TikTok.
Good stuff. Thank you.
I mean, this is a gas station.
Hey,
One more time.
One more time. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. This is not a joke. Keep your distance, please. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Don't take the bait.
Now, according to Greg Bovino, the reason why he played rock, scissors, shoot was to figure out who has to pay for lunch the next time around. But of course, if you look at this clip without the context or Greg Bovino having to explain himself, many people can take this as whatever way you want to take it, you can take it. So I'm just trying to give you guys the context. The reason why he played rock, paper, scissors, shoot was to see who had to pay for lunch. Now, like we talked about before, it's not only just protesters on the ground as far as this opposition against Homeland Security in Chicago. Here is a congresswoman who talks about the situation in Chicago, and you'll hear what she is saying seems to line up with a lot of what the protesters are saying or the backlash against ICE and Border Patrol.
Your reaction to that comment and just to the whole episode?
I mean, what you have seen and the judge has ruled is that Bovino, DHS, they're all liars. They lie. I was there at the daycare center. I met with many of the parents that you just saw. They arrested her there in the daycare. You had masked men with guns roaming around the daycare while children were there. I hugged a 3-year-old little boy whose heart felt like it was going to pump out of his heart. And that incident had happened an hour prior.
And this is in regards to where ICE agents arrested an illegal immigrant who ran into the daycare, then she was pulled out and arrested. Now, the congresswoman is saying otherwise, that she was arrested inside of the building and that ICE agents targeted the building. But according to Homeland Security, they've never targeted this building and they never had the intentions to. An illegal immigrant ran inside. But this congresswoman is saying otherwise.
They don't respect any sensitive location.
Specifically calling out Bovino, which is another big angle to this story. Again, Bovino is enemy number one to a lot of people who hate ICE, Homeland Security, in Chicago.
Locations, whether it's a daycare, a school, a church, or in the case of my own district, a hospital, an emergency room hospital, which, by the way, Jonathan, has now a 40% rate of no-show for people who need to go see their doctor because they were so afraid of going to the hospital.
Now, I do want to point out, this is the same member of Congress who was denied oversight into the Broadview ICE facility, even though she's aware that you have to give some sort of notice before you enter. I mean, check this clip out. This is her right here. And so the point I'm trying to make is this entire day was wasted, and then a whole media op was done after this. The question I have is, and I want to give you guys the full perspective, and really I hope people who don't like ICE are watching this. I just want to point out this same member of Congress just wasted this whole day and no oversight was done. So I'm curious how you guys feel about that. Leave your comments down below. You have a member of Congress who just went on MSNBC and said how bad it is with Homeland Security and Bovino, yet on this same day, you could kind of make that same argument where this member of Congress didn't follow the protocols and no oversight was done for the people she wants to represent. And we can even see on camera, protocol was broken. If you bring staff members, even under the original rules, you have to give a 24-hour notice. But with the new rules, you have to give more of a notice. So I'm just trying to show you guys, I'm a little concerned here that we have a member of Congress who broke the protocols public for all of us to see.
Look, I serve in not just in Homeland Security, which is the Committee of Jurisdiction over these facilities here, but I'm also in the Oversight Subcommittee of it. And the idea that...
So right there, she's in the Oversight Subcommittee, so she knows the rules, yet when she went to the Broadview ICE facility, did not follow the rules, has been denied, and now there's been no oversight. And again, even if you hate ICE and you hate the Trump administration, I mean, our taxpayer money has just been wasted. I've always said this, we should want oversight, so it's a little discouraging that we have a member of Congress who didn't do the oversight.
It is
especially one from the House Oversight Committee belonging to Homeland Security.
It's difficult to be able to get a response from the folks in ICE directors here. We just went and attempted to talk to someone. He was unwilling to identify himself. It's really frightening for us.
Yeah, and I would argue it's a little frightening for us too that we have an expert in this field and they didn't follow the protocol. So again, I'm not trying to bash anyone. I'm just trying to be as fair as possible that you can look at this member of Congress who just went on MSNBC and said everything is really bad with Greg Bovino. Well, okay, that's fine, but then why not go do the proper oversight to make sure Greg Bovino is doing everything right? And here we can see on camera the proper oversight was not done. It's very discouraging. So for people who like ICE and then don't like ICE, I mean, here is an example where we can come together and agree something needs to be fixed, and that's why I make these videos. I'm not trying to bash or hate on anyone. I'm just trying to bring all perspectives together so we can have a peaceful dialogue and figure out what's going on here. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, the intentions behind my videos are to be as fair as possible, give a fair critique, give you guys the full perspective so you guys can make a decision how you feel about this. Also, I really want to make sure we have some peace in this country, have a peaceful dialogue, come together, and like I always say, I always advocate for peace, so please pray for peace. Thank you guys so much for everything. God bless, and we'll see you all later.